Experts say a new year is a good time to focus on your finances, and they say there are 5 things nearly everybody can do. We'll start with number 5. They say to get your financial house in order. That means looking at how much money you have coming in and what you have going out. Number 4, if you're not doing so already, may make out your retirement or 401k accounts, especially if there is a company match. Number 3, run your credit report, and if there's any debt, make a plan to get rid of it. Number 2, if you're getting a tax refund each year, while it may seem like a good thing, it's not. It's money that you could have received throughout the year.
If you're living beyond your means and you have credit card debt, you're paying interest to a credit card company, but you're giving your money to Uncle Sam on the other hand and not receiving any interest for it. And so getting a refund is a negative.
And number 1 is the last thing we tend to think about, of course, but it makes financial sense to think about and figure out what will happen to your estate when you are no longer around.
Well, I can think of quite a few things that I need to do right there. So what does the future hold when it comes to the economy in 2013? So I'm joined now by Mitch Stapley, Chief Investment Officer for Fifth Third Asset Management, for some insight on that and what you should know. Mitch, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So now, first of all, the market looked great yesterday, but what do things look for the entire year? The beginning of the year, it looks like could be pretty rough.
Well, we've still got a lot of issues to deal with. We've only managed to kick the can down the road. We know we've got some certainty as far as higher taxes, and from the market's perspective, certainty is a good thing. But the reality is we still have the debt ceiling to deal with. That has to be dealt with by the end of March. The government, as part of the settlement, agreed to basically for 2 months not deal with the automatic spending cuts that are called the sequester. So before the end of March, they've got to deal with that. And then we still don't have a 2013 budget. So all 3 of those have to be dealt with by the end of March, so it could be rough again.
So really our folks in Washington then could make it pretty interesting for us.
Way more interesting than it needs to be, you bet.
So then what could you say for, Michigan, though? Is there a different story for Michigan? Because it seems like things are looking pretty good in Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan is one of the kind of good news stories from an economic standpoint out there. Next to North Dakota last year, Michigan led the nation in manufacturing job creation. If you look at it here in West Michigan, our unemployment rate's running about 7.2% versus 7.8% for the national level. So we're bouncing back in Michigan pretty strongly. So it's frustrating to see what's going on in Washington potentially slow us down when we're finally beginning to really show some signs of life.
Now, we just heard some tips too from Leon about what you should be doing to get your finances in order. What should people be thinking about right now?
I think one of the important things you need to think about out there is while we can have some volatility in the marketplace, the stock market, and you saw one of the good days yesterday, the stock market is pretty fairly priced out there. And people really should understand that stocks, if you're a long-term investor with a 20, 30-year time horizon, look pretty attractive right now. So keep that contribution going into your 401k. You need to be making that investment in yourself. Paying down debt makes an awful lot of sense out there, and really pay attention to your mortgage. If you can refinance your mortgage where the mortgage rates are today, the lowest we've seen them in the last 40, 50 years, you got to do that.
Hopefully everyone listens in and weighs in on all of that. Thanks, Mitch Stapley with Fifth Third. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.